The series takes place in China and introduces us to two opposite personalities. Shuang Zhao is a cheerful and simple girl who works several jobs at once. She lives with her younger brother Junji and her father Yin Xiong. Gu Zhengqi is an attractive and strict man who owns a cleaning company. The businessman suffers from mysophobia, fear of germs, which makes him a real maniac regarding cleanliness. Things are far from good in the girl's life, as she recently lost her mother in a car accident. Trying not to grieve over her misfortune, the girl prepares to go to one of the jobs. She is determined to make her family more successful and financially independent. But for now she is forced to work in a cafe nearby. While waitressing, she accidentally runs into a businessman and recognizes him, as she has seen the man on television. After stopping Gi Zhenqi, the girl tells him that she has sent a resume to his company and would like to become his subordinate. The businessman irritably ignores the girl, and without allowing her to touch him, leaves. At night, the girl works as a food delivery girl and arrives in a wealthy neighborhood. Here she also notices a robot vacuum cleaner standing motionless in the street. Assuming that some businessman threw it away, the girl decides to take the technique for herself. On her way home, she meets a moped driver who turns out to be a cab driver and is ready to take her home for free. Meanwhile, Gi Zhenqi, who has recently moved to the neighborhood, calls his assistant Li Dong and tells him that his new robot vacuum cleaner is missing. His mother was cleaning up and mistakenly threw it in the trash, but he never found the equipment, not realizing that the vacuum cleaner was taken by Shuang Zhao. The next day, the girl works as a garbage collector on the street, where she is chased by several teenagers throwing empty cans at the girl. At one point, one of them hits her in the head and Shuang Zhao has to defend herself. A few minutes later, she tries to run away from the annoying guys, and, not noticing nothing in front of her, accidentally crashes her cart into Gu Zhenqi's car, who happens to be driving nearby. Getting out of the car, the businessman sees that its hood is full of garbage, which annoys him greatly. Removing the protection from the girl's head, he realizes that it is Shuang Zhao, whom they saw earlier in the cafe. After exchanging a glance, the man doesn't give the girl her protection, and she attacks him, trying to get her stuff back. At one point, she stumbles over debris and falls on the man, collapsing on the dirty hood of his car. A crowd gathers around them and films what is happening on their phone, which annoys the businessman. Hurriedly pushing the girl away, he is startled by the germs and embarrassed, causing him to drive away, upsetting Shuang Zhao with his reaction and behavior. The next morning, Li Dong finds Shuang Zhao on the street and informs her that she must pay for the damage done to the businessman's car the previous night. Gui soon appears on the scene, showing the girl the footage from the video cameras near the entryway and asking about whether she stole his vacuum cleaner. She answers in the affirmative, and the businessman offers not to charge her a fine if she returns the appliances back. Moreover, he may reward her for it. The next day, the girl comes to the businessman's company and returns the robot vacuum cleaner hidden in her bag. After saying goodbye, Shuang Zhao leaves, but after a couple of meters she falls, passing out at the entrance. A frightened guy asks the employee to help the girl and carry her to his car. After covering the girl's face with a tissue, the man decides to disinfect all surfaces before heading to the hospital. Upon arrival, the nurse informs the man that Shuang Zhao has a stomach infection caused by a poor diet. The problem is not serious, so she can be discharged from the hospital the very next morning. After regaining consciousness and leaving the walls of the medical facility, the girl returns to Guy's cleaning company and finds a note left on the nightstand. The man informs her that he has hired her as a cleaner for his company as a thank you for returning a vacuum cleaner of special value to him. Shuang Zhao is excited by this offer, as the man promises her a generous salary that will allow her to give up other forms of income. Meanwhile, Guy meets Wang Qiang, a successful and tireless woman who works at a local TV station. She proposes that he take part in a new program to interview young entrepreneurs in China. At the same time, Shuang Zhao comes into the office to clean up and is amazed at his efficiency. A little later, Gui goes to the lab, where he works with chemicals to create a new disinfectant. Soon there is also a cleaning lady who wants to polish the glass door of the lab. The man finds it suspicious that Shuang Jiao is always around and wonders what the girl's real intentions are for him and his company. A little later, the girl meets the first colleagues who pay attention to her and are ready to become friends with the hard-working Shuang Jiao. On returning home, the girl meets Lucian, who came to visit her for dinner. Guy decides to eat with her family and tries to get the girl's attention by offering her his services as a driver. Back home, Guy cannot stop thinking about the beautiful and energetic Shuang Jiao because her character and cute smile lift his mood even in the most difficult situation. The next day after work, the girl leaves the company and is met by Lucian, who shows care and attention. Guy notices what is happening and looks at the couple with suspicion, assuming that it is Shuang Jiao's boyfriend. Meanwhile, the girl's younger brother works at a cell phone repair shop and confesses to his girlfriend that he failed an exam, making him unable to get a college degree. He hid this from his family because of his feelings of shame and doesn't know how he should proceed. In the evening, Shuang Jiao and Lucian go for a walk, where they meet Guy and his assistant. Guy decides to meet the businessman, but this creates an awkward situation, as the man is afraid of handshakes because of bacteria. The next morning, as soon as Shuang Jiao shows up at the company's office, Guy grabs the girl's hand and leads her away. He decides to ask directly about her relationship with Lucian, and whether they have any intentions for his business. When the couple goes down the escalator, the girl accidentally trips, and as a result, kisses the businessman. Startled, Guy pushes Shuang Jiao away, but it's too late, as they are seen together by several company employees who assume they are a couple in love, carefully hiding their feelings. Realizing that there are plenty of germs on him after the kiss, the misophobic businessman passes out. A short while later, Guy regains consciousness and realizes that he has ended up in a clinic. Assistants and partners inform him that the man has had a nervous breakdown and needs some time off to recover. He is willing to take a week's break despite his busyness. Soon, Shuang Jiao appears in the room and apologizes for the incident, but the man keeps thinking about that kiss, because despite everything, he really liked it. A little later, Gui is visited by his grandfather, who criticizes the man for his upbringing and the disease that prevents him from living a full life. As it turned out, Mysophobia arose precisely because of the old man, because he brought up his grandson and constantly criticized him for dirty hands, which led to the appearance of complexes. Still thinking about the kiss with Shuang Jiao, Gui calls his anonymous therapist, with whom he communicates exclusively by phone. The businessman recounts what happened and asks if he might be immune to the girl he liked. The doctor suggests that the smartest thing to do is to stay away from Shuang Jiao for his own good. At the same time, the girl's colleagues and new friends ask her to do a marketing project while their boss is on vacation. Shuang Jiao has to make a presentation of new products to a group of investors. But the girl has never done anything like this before and is afraid of failing to cope with the responsible work. Giving in to persuasion, she agrees to be a representative of their company and, visibly nervous, goes to the room of investors. From the first minutes, the rich people literally humiliate the girl because of her unpreparedness and inability to tell about the company's products. At the same moment, Guy appears in the office, who decides to support the girl and take control of the situation. He successfully conducts the presentation and saves Shuang Jiao, thanks to which she does not feel stupid and weak. Upon returning home, the girl meets Lucian again, who welcomes her with hot soup. The guy is caring toward Shuang Jiao and tries to find out how her day was. He is concerned that the girl works hard and asks her not to get attached to the employees of the company, because she is not rich and will never fit into their world. At some point, their conversation is interrupted by the doorbell. On the threshold of the girl's apartment is Guy, who came to her to give her a few dresses in gratitude for help at a business meeting. Lucian literally boils with jealousy, but cannot say anything or object to the influential businessman. A little later, Shuang Jiao visits her mother's grave, remembering that it's her birthday. The girl is in no mood, for all her thoughts are about her late mother. She would like her mother to know that she has become an adult and responsible person, and that she has someone by her side who will make her happy. Noticing that Shuang Jiao is sad, Lucian shows concern and treats the girl to ice cream. Noticing his actions, Shuang Jiao realizes that Lucian is in love, but she needs time to be convinced. In the meantime, Gui decides to conduct a little experiment related to his illness. To do so, he decides to use the cup that Shuang Jiao drank from. Previously, he had fainted before touching an object with foreign bacteria. Trying to drink the water from the girl's cup, the man successfully does so, surprised to find that he has no negative reaction to Shuang Jiao. The next day, the girl is cleaning up the chief's office when she suddenly hears Gui and his assistant. Embarrassed, Shuang Jiao hides under the desk and accidentally overhears their conversation. The assistant asks the chief about whether he is in love with the new cleaning lady. Gui completely denies it, saying that they are from different worlds and can't have anything in common. Offended by such words, the girl climbs out from under the table and declares to the businessman that she will not allow anyone to humiliate her because of her economic situation. In the evening, the girl returns home and tells Lucian that she misses her mother very much. Sometimes she feels that she has too many obligations that are hard to handle. The girl is uncomfortable in her new job, but she realizes that it is a hope for financial prosperity and is not ready to give up her position as a cleaner in a prestigious cleaning company. The next morning, Guy tries to apologize to the girl for his words, but they ignore him, continuing to work. In an attempt to make amends, the businessman buys milk for Shuang Jiao, leaving the bottle at her workplace. That same night, the girl also buys a bottle of milk and goes to the boss's office, leaving it and a note, suggesting that they make up and start their communication from scratch. A little later, they meet on the way out of the office and are embarrassed when they realize that they bought each other milk, having acted identically in this situation. Having reconciled, the couple stays in the office for dinner. Taking advantage of the moment, the businessman once again apologizes for his words and explains that he did not mean their different financial situations. Mentioning it, he said that they are opposites in character, but he realized that he was wrong here too. These words please the girl, because she realizes that they just misunderstood each other. The next morning, Guy decides to continue fighting Mysophobia and arrives at the girl's house to wait for her to leave the apartment. Upon meeting Shuang Jiao, he suggests that they ride to work together on bicycles parked nearby. The girl agrees to her boss's idea, but on the condition that the two of them ride together on the same bike, because it's much more fun that way. It was a wonderful trip, but the hope for a promising romance fades as soon as they arrive at the office. A businessman needs to get back to his grueling, stressful job because a rival company has stolen several ideas he's been working hard to develop lately. After learning about what's going on, Shuang Jiao suggests to the boss's assistant to solve the problem and expose the company stealing their ideas. The colleagues don't know how to act in this situation as they have no proof of the competitor's guilt. Trying to resolve the conflict peacefully, the girl goes to the office of the competitors to ask them to apologize for their act. The guards kick her out, but then Guy appears and takes the girl by the hand and leads her away from the competitor's office. He asks the girl never to humiliate herself in front of men, because she deserves a good attitude and a man who can appreciate her. Guy is ready to solve the problem differently by developing new ideas and improving old ones. After a walk, Shuang Jiao invites a man home for dinner, where he meets not only her family, but also Lucian. A hidden rivalry begins between the men, but the girl doesn't notice it. Once they are alone together, Lucian warns Guy not to go too far in his interactions with Shuang Jiao. Moreover, he finds it inappropriate for the boss to come to his subordinate's home. It soon becomes clear that Lucian is the businessman's anonymous therapist who asks him to stay away from Shuang Jiao because of his illness. Lucian loves the girl and wants to do everything to make her happy, so Gui should stay out of their relationship. A while later, a video of an incident where Shuang Jiao left a dent on his car appears on the internet. People discuss the businessman and call him a bully who treats poor people badly. After hearing about the video, Shuang Jiao makes a video explaining what happened and saying that Gui is a wonderful boss who genuinely cares about his subordinates. A man is nearby and, upon hearing the girl's words, comes close to her to kiss her. The next morning, Shuang Zhao can't work quietly, constantly remembering the boss's kiss. She doesn't understand if she should ask him about it, and what the reason for such an act is. While Shuang Zhao thinks about how she should act, Gui studies information websites, trying to understand if it's realistic to fall in love and suffer from mysophobia, and how it might affect a relationship. A little while later, Shuang Zhao is cleaning the chief's office and notices an old photo of him next to his mother. When Gui appears in the office, the girl is visibly nervous and almost falls over, but he manages to pick her up and put his arm around her. After returning home, Shuang Zhao talks to Lucian and asks if he is in a relationship, because she often sees him with other women. The guy declares that these are his clients, as he is not only a cab driver, but also a certified psychologist. The girl decides to get counseling and asks if the man has feelings if he kisses, and then acts as if nothing happened. Lucian reacts acutely to the question, and Shuang Zhao realizes it's easier to change the topic of conversation. The psychologist is not stupid and guesses that the businessman is still trying to establish a relationship with the girl he is in love with. A few days later, Gui meets the TV hostess in a restaurant to discuss the program and future performances. Shuang Zhao overhears their conversation and becomes jealous of the man, barely containing his anger. At the same time, it becomes known that years ago he and the TV host had an affair, but it failed because of their obsession with work. Soon the girl's father notices her next to Lucian and tries to understand what connects them. Guy claims that they are a couple, and the old man feels relieved, as he is genuinely happy at home that his daughter has someone. Guy overhears this conversation and is disappointed to realize that the girl he has a crush on is already in a relationship. A few minutes later, left alone, Shuang Zhao tells Lucian that she only played along to appease her father. She asks him not to think about a relationship, because she's not ready for that with him. This whole situation at the restaurant leads to double confusion, as Ji assumes that the girl is in a relationship with Lucian, while she believes that the businessman is dating Wang Xiang. In the evening, the family gathers around the same table and meets Junji's girlfriend, with whom he has a crush. The girl subtly hints to his father and sister that the guy doesn't have to go to university if he can make money from something else. Sometime later, Shuang Zhao decides to quit the cleaning company, as she finds it difficult to be around her boss, because she doesn't understand his feelings. Soon, Gui stops the girl and gives her a blouse, promising that it won't hurt to quit if she decides it's the best option. During the conversation, the cleaning lady and the businessman realize that neither she nor he are in a relationship, which makes them feel relieved. A few days later, Guy gathers his subordinates and informs them that they have won a plagiarism case against a rival company and received investor approval to develop new cleaning products. Realizing that he is not happy without Shuang Zhao, the man goes to the girl's house to ask to return to work. Lucian stops him and asks the businessman to leave, as he is no longer the boss for Shuang Zhao and has no business being here. Meanwhile, Shuang Zhao works as a waitress and meets Gui's mother. Knowing how her son feels about the girl, the woman offers her a job as a maid or a cook in a restaurant. After a little thought, Shuang Zhao agrees, because the businessman's mother offers two favorable financial conditions. In the evening, the girl comes to Guy's apartment and realizes that she will work in his house. He has strict rules to cleanliness and has 30 rules to follow. She not only has to disinfect the apartment, but also buy groceries, pleasing him in everything. In the evening, co-workers show up at the boss's house and assume that he and Shuang Zhao are an amorous couple living together. Gui explains that it's a misunderstanding and the girl works as a cleaner. At night, Shuang Zhao has romantic dreams in which she imagines that she is living together with Gui. The father begins to worry about the fact that his daughter has a new job and does not spend the night at home. At the same time, Lucian visits the girl in the apartment of a businessman. Shuang Zhao asks her not to tell her father about the new job, because the old man will be against her working in the apartment of a single man. Lucian is going to tell her father everything, but is willing not to on one condition. The psychologist wants to constantly visit the couple and talk to the businessman to help him cope with his illness. In reality, however, Lucian just wants to control them by not allowing this relationship to develop further. Things gradually lead to Lucian practically starting to live in the businessman's apartment. Not wanting him and the girl to be alone together, Guy starts working from home, which results in the men constantly competing with each other, making Shuangjiao feel increasingly uncomfortable. Soon, his mother visits Gui to see if he is thinking of marrying his cleaning lady. Meanwhile, Shuangjiao decides to make a chocolate cake for the man, but she remembers her late mother and begins to cry. Seeing this, the businessman calms the girl down with a comforting hug. Shuangjiao talks about her mother, holding Gui's hand and unaware that Lucian continues to follow them. A little later, the girl tries to understand how the businessman feels about her. He kisses her and confesses his love, after which Shuangjiao tells her that their feelings are mutual, and that makes them both happy. The next morning, the couple continues their romantic idyll and brush their teeth together. At one point, Gui shows his mania and shows the girl how to brush her teeth properly. He holds the girl's hand and it seems quite romantic, but she can hardly contain her laughter because of the whole situation. Meanwhile, Lucian meets Shuangjiao's brother and learns that the guy has created a homemade lie detector. He knows all about the romantic disappointment, but Lucian supports him and offers to fight to make his friendship with his girlfriend turn into love. In the evening, Guy is going on a business trip and can't reach his assistant. Not wanting to go without support, he offers the girl to keep him company, and Shuangjiao agrees. In the morning, the couple sets off on a road trip. Making a stop for lunch, the girl makes the man learn to resist his mania for cleanliness and eat fried chicken with his hands. At first he tries not to allow it, but as a result he successfully passes the test. In the evening, the couple arrives at the hotel and ask for separate rooms, but end up falling asleep together while watching a movie. A little later, Shuangjiao decides to go to her room, but the man stops her and asks her to stay until morning. After spending the night together, the loving couple goes on a date to a water park. Back at the hotel, Shuangjiao meets Gui's mother and assumes that the woman would be against her son dating a beggar girl. Fortunately, the woman is happy and supportive of the couple, moreover asking Gui to be more respectful to Shuangjiao so that she will be his wife in the future. Soon, the old man learns that his grandson has a girlfriend, but he is against Gui dating someone from a lower stratum. This leads to conflict between the woman and her father, as they look at it differently. Soon, the old man meets with Gui and claims that his relationship with Shuangjiao will do no good. Meanwhile, Shuangjiao returns home to take care of his father. The man feels that this is not necessary, as the most important thing for him is for his daughter to be happy and loved. On his return from a business trip, Gui meets a girl with a bouquet of sunflowers and asks her to forgive him for her grandfather and his words. Shuangjiao understands the businessman and hugs him, begging him to be sincere. As it turns out, the prisoner was the old man's driver, but it was Grandpa Gui who was driving that day, and the driver only took responsibility and went to jail instead of the rich man. As a result, Shuangjiao runs away from the wedding and cries, realizing that she could have married the grandson of the criminal who deprived her of her mother. At the same time, Gui goes to his grandfather's house to find out the truth, but he says he doesn't remember anything, because it was too long ago. Given the latest information, the police arrive at the rich old man's house and arrest him for questioning. At night, Gui goes to the girl's house to apologize on behalf of the family and say that he is not responsible for his grandfather's actions. Shuangjiao admits that she loves the man, but is not ready to be with someone who is involved with a criminal. A little later, her brother supports Shuangjiao and asks her not to rush into a decision, because Gui truly loves her, and he and her father will support any decision. The next day, Lucian goes to Gui's office, but the businessman doesn't want to talk to him. The psychologist explains that he did it not to harm the relationship, but for the sake of justice. In the evening, Guy meets a girl in the park and tries to talk to her while hiding the scratches on his arms. Without her, his compulsive cleaning habits have returned, but the girl doesn't want to be hurt and suggests breaking up. Trying to persuade her is futile,
so Guy hugs Shuangjiao and says goodbye to her. The next morning, Gui packs his bags and leaves the office, announcing that he is leaving to cure his illness. A few weeks later, Shuangjiao receives a message from Gui's mother asking her to clean her son's apartment while he is away. After agreeing, the girl feels nostalgic, remembering how good they were together. The old man is at large again, as the police have no proof that he was driving. The woman asks her father to solve all of Guy's problems, as the grandson should not pay for his mistakes. But the old man ignores her request. Meanwhile, Gui meets with his assistant and learns that Shuangjiao has returned to work in the marketing department. She's doing fine with everything, but is nervous when she notices Guy back home again. The girl leaves work, but immediately runs into a man on the street. The pair exchange a few phrases, and Shuangjiao expresses hope that the man is feeling better and is gradually coping with his illness. Upon returning to the office, the girl learns from her colleagues that they have won a national award for their new marketing strategy. Meeting Lucian, Guy gets the address of the wife of a man who was found guilty in a car accident. The woman lives in a warehouse near a garbage dump and is forced to survive. After talking to her, Ji learns that the culprit in the accident was not her son but her husband, who demanded money from the old man. After receiving a video of the woman's confession explaining the details of the case, Guy sends it to Shuangjiao to let her know that his family is not responsible for what happened. After learning the truth, Shuangjiao sets out to find the businessman. The couple meet and embrace at the city dump, as suddenly Guy loses consciousness due to a nervous breakdown related to the unsanitary nature of their meeting place. Soon the man wakes up in the hospital, and the girl embraces him, as the misunderstanding that could separate them is favorably resolved. Realizing that nothing else will prevent them, the couple kisses. The next morning, the girl meets with Guy's grandfather to inform him that they will be together, regardless of his attitude. Soon the couple arrives at a family dinner with Guy's mother and grandfather. During the dialogue, the mother remarks that her son is not suffering as much from his illness thanks to having the girl he loves by his side. At the same time, Junji informs his fiancée that he wants to study mechanical engineering and they will see each other very rarely, but she is not intimidated by this and is willing to wait for him so that they can live together. The relationship between Lidong and the TV presenter is also getting better, and the couple is spending more and more time together. Father and brother accept that Shuangjiao is dating a businessman. In the morning, Gui returns to work and becomes less meticulous about cleanliness and more respectful of his subordinates. Lidong quits to find a better job and build a relationship with a TV hostess. Lucian leaves to work as a psychologist in another city. Soon Guy informs that their company will have a new project and asks the girl to come to an important business meeting. It turns out to be a surprise and the couple takes off in a hot air balloon. Once again on his knee, Guy asks Shuangjiao to become his wife and the girl agrees. Remembering all the moments they have experienced together, the couple kisses, realizing that nothing else will prevent them from being happy.